that all men have inalienable rights to think freely, to talk freely, to write freely their own opinions, and to counter or utter or write upon the opinions of others.
This is from the Creed of the Church of Scientology. Hey everybody, I'm Holly, aka the ScientoloGeek, and welcome to the 14th episode of Going Over the Student Hat series. Now, today we're going to be covering a policy letter and a bulletin, I believe. If not, then it's two policy letters. There's not really much to it. It's about 5 pages, so we'll get that done. The next couple episodes are just going to be the same one. But I hope you guys stick around for that. If you like what I do, hit like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, make sure my videos are getting to you, and hit share to show your friends, your family, whoever you may want to show this to, just to get them to have a better understanding of what Scientology actually has in their doctrine. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So, this is the HCO policy letter of the 21st of February, 1971, revised on the 25th of July, 1987. This is called Supervisor Checkouts and references the following policy letters: instruction and examination raising the standard of, theory testing expiration dates, theory checkout data, on giving checkouts, how to do theory checkouts and examinations, twinning. That's the HCO bulletin.
The only checkouts done by a course supervisor are those done on the policy letters, HCOBs, and tapes to do with the procedure and technology of checkouts. The course supervisor sees that his students are adequately hatted as students before they start study. The most important part of the student's hat is, of course, how to do checkouts on his twin. He must be very competent in this skill, for on it depends a lot of the future of Scientology. An incompetent checkout can stall an auditor's progress and bring about flubs in his auditing. The course supervisor ensures his students are capable of very competent checkouts. He assigns twins for study. He checks the quality of their checkouts. If it requires correction, he checks them out on the checkout material that will correct the faults he finds. These checkout materials are the only ones he checks students out on personally. The course supervisor must observe for violations of checkout materials. His use of two-way comm with his students will bring such outnesses to view, whatever else it reveals and handles. The supervisor walks around his class all the time. He checks where students are on the check sheet. He gives spot checks on the materials studied to date. Anything a student flunks on is also checked out on his twin. Pink sheets are given on flunked materials. Failures on checkout tech are pink sheeted. The remedy for improper checkouts by students is further study of checkout materials, not the supervisor taking over checkouts of all course materials himself. The course supervisor does all that is necessary to ensure that checkouts are competent, effective, and strictly in accordance with HCOPLs, HCOBs, and tapes on the subject. Where a student is found after completion of a course to be defective in his application of his materials, the qual actions would be to correct the supervisor on the authorized checkout materials, in addition to any action taken on the auditor. By the high crime policies of 1966, the course supervisor must star rate all materials pertaining to his post before he can take the post.
So that's interesting. I thought supervisors did all the checkouts. I forgot twins did the checkouts. It's been a while since I've touched any of the first 10 student hat videos, so I guess that part slipped my mind. So this is the HCO Bulletin of the 10th of January, 1984, also issued as a policy letter from the 23rd of July, 81, revised. This is called the Use of Demonstration and references the policy letter called Theory Checkout Data, as well as the bulletin called Clay Table Training.
Demonstration comes from the Latin demonstrare, to point out, show, prove. The Chambers 20th Century Dictionary includes the following definition of demonstrate: to teach, expound, or exhibit by practical means. A demonstration, or demo, is usually done with a demo kit, which consists of various small objects such as corks, caps, paper clips, pen tops, rubber bands, etc. The student demonstrates an idea or principle with his hands, the paper clips on his desk, etc. History. The original use of demonstration was during a checkout to detect glibness. The idea behind a demo kit was that during a checkout by an examiner or twin, the student could be made to show that he really knows what he's talking about. There was no demonstration that the student did for himself. Later, the use of the demo kit became extended and altered to mean the student fiddles with the demo kit continually while studying. A policy letter, written by another and long since canceled, made the statement that the student mocks up what he reads as he reads it with the bits and pieces of his demo kit.
I'm going to search this statement in my old green versions, and I'll see if I can find it.
This statement was not correct. I never developed this use of the demo kit. This business of fidgeting with the demo kit has nothing to do with demonstration, as all it demonstrates is a quickie, surface understanding. Star rate checkouts. The demo kit is used during a star rate checkout. It's the answer to glibness. You give the student a paper clip and a wooden block and a few leather or rubber bands and say, you just show me with these things exactly how this would happen. If the student can't show you anything about it at all, you make him study it again until he gets the idea. He has to show you his understanding, because if he can't put this in demo form in some fashion or another, then he doesn't understand it. The basic purpose of the demo kit is to demonstrate understanding. Demonstration in theory study. If a student ran into something he couldn't quite figure out, a demo kit would assist him to understand it. This is not demanded, it's at the discretion of the student himself. The more usual action in such a case is actually for the student to go over to the clay table and work it out properly in clay in accordance with the clay demonstration HCOBs. When people don't understand the use of the clay table, they sometimes try to substitute a demo kit for it, and the clay table could then become limited. The whole theory of clay demos is that they add mass. A student needs mass in order to understand something. Given that, he can sort it out because he has mass and space, and he can then envision it. Demo kit demonstrations work on this principle too, only a clay demonstration more closely represents the thing being demonstrated and provides more mass. Demos as check sheet items. Check sheets very often require students to do demos. The student simply does the demo and looks up the misunderstood word each time he can't demo it. Sketching. Sketching is also a part of demonstration and part of working things out. Someone sitting at his office desk trying to work something out doesn't have any clay to hand to work it out with, but he could work it out with a little demo kit action or a paper and a pencil, draw graphs of it, and so forth. That's a necessary part of getting a grip on something. For instance, I started to work out the flow line for an area that I was handling. I first tried to figure it out in my head, but there was something funny about it that I couldn't quite put my finger on. The way I finally did manage to get it was by putting it on a little yellow card. I would have worked it out sooner, easier and earlier than I did if I had graphed it all and laid it all out in 2 dimensions in the first place. There is a rule which goes, if you cannot demonstrate something in 2 dimensions, you have it wrong. It's an arbitrary rule, but it's very workable.
I doubt that. Just because you can't demonstrate something in 2 dimensions doesn't always mean it's wrong. Why do you make things so fucking simplistic, Hubbard?
This rule is used in engineering and architecture. If it can't be worked out simply and clearly in 2 dimensions, there's something wrong and it couldn't be built. This was the missing piece of demonstration. I started working with this clear back in 1950 when I was taught mechanical drawing and engineering, and that's where I developed this datum. Wow, he at least gave us sources to where he got it, but I highly doubt that he was ever taught mechanical drawing and engineering. Even if he was, I don't believe he ever had a good grasp of the subject. This is a whole area of tech and applies to drawing out what is in a bulletin or trying to draw an org plan or a flow line, and so on. It works in other ways too. An obvious example.
Can I have an unobvious example? Can I have a difficult one?
An obvious example is a navigator who, instead of trying to work it all out in his head with some foggy concept of where he is, simply graphs the sailing plan in progress on a chart. Org boards and statistical graphs are also examples in their own way. This is all part of demonstration and part of working something out. Summary. The basic use of the demo kit is during a checkout to demonstrate understanding. If the student wants to work something out and see how it works, the usual action is to work it out in clay. Sketching is part of demonstration and is particularly useful for the staff member at his desk or the engineer at work, etc. Demos also appear on checkouts. If the student can't demo it, he finds the misunderstood word. That's the simplicity of demonstration.
So, what did we learn today? We learned that course supervisors only do checkouts on policy letters, bulletins, and tapes. Students can do checkouts on each other, on their twins. They just need to learn how to do them first. Supervisors give spot checks on materials being studied, and they can give pink sheets on flunked materials, as usual. Remedy for improper checkouts is further study of checkout materials. After a course is completed, if a student is not found to be able to apply his materials, Qual would need to then correct the course supervisor, not the student, on the authorized checkout materials to make sure that they know how to do them and how to help someone else do them. Course supervisors need to star rate all materials pertaining to their post before they start their job. Now with demos are done with demo kits. So demo kits are just various small objects, bottle caps, paper clips, pencil erasers, and just things to demonstrate different concepts or principles. They were originally used during checkouts to detect glibness. The use became extended and altered to have the student playing with it while studying, only showing a supposedly quickie surface understanding. There was a policy letter canceled since issuance saying, quote, the student mocks up what he reads as he reads it with the bits and pieces of his demo kit. I will try to find this policy letter and see if what Hubbard says is true. Demo kits are used during star rate checkouts. If a student can't put a concept in demo form, then he can't understand it. The basic purpose of the demo kit is to demonstrate understanding. No duh. If a student wants to see how something works or is having lack of mass, clay demo is better to use. You could also use sketching to help you figure things out, and there's a rule which I think is completely stupid. If you cannot demonstrate something in 2 dimensions, you have it wrong. I get that that could apply to architecture or engineering, like you mentioned, but if someone's trying to sketch out other shit on a paper, and they're told that just because they can't do it in 2 dimensions that they have it wrong, then I think that's pure invalidation. Not that the supervisor's an auditor anyway, but I'm not going to follow the auditor's code. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video.